My name is Nicole O'Connor, and I am a bisexual. Ah! I don't know. I first realized I had an attraction towards girls when I was like really young, when I was like 7 or 8.
Where I had come from before going into high school, I went through some really dark times for an 11, 12-year-old to have to go through.
A lot of people tend to think that not telling their children about things like being gay or racism or discrimination, that children don't understand that. They do. I think not teaching your children that is setting them up to fail.
I came out to my friends. Like, I don't even, like, it was so casual, I just don't even remember doing it with them because I felt really safe with them. But with my family, it was a different story.
Your journey as a queer person can be quite different. So when I was a kid, I never had crushes on girls until I was about 14. And then I had a really big crush on Ellen DeGeneres.
Was there something in particular about Ellen that video? The dance moves?
Oh yeah, those sexy dance moves got me every time. I think it was because she was out as a queer person that it's just an option in your head. You're like, oh, well, she likes girls. And then like you just kind of think about it that way.
What inspired me to come out wasn't anything aspirational. What made me come out really was when my dad was openly defending homophobes. 11
years of school, of this constant like being kind of, you know, told who I was wrong and what I was wrong, even though I didn't know who or what I was, kind of set me up after school to be in this position where I was like treading water and really doing my best to just hide under the radar. And I remember taking a college offer I really didn't want, but that I knew I needed to, because if I didn't, Jesus. I knew that if I didn't take it, I'd die. There was this little voice in my head that was telling me, like, somehow telling me through all of that stuff that I had heard for so long, that life would be worth it if I just held on. And I did.
I struggle with depression and anxiety as it is, so that, you know, doesn't help when you're being relentlessly bullied for 8 years. So yeah, I went to university at about 19. I won't say his name, but I met this guy and we really hit it off, and I would spend the majority of my time with him, with his friends. I'd like stay over in his house. Looking back now, I can see why that was cause for concern for my family.
You have two coming outs. One is to like your friends, people that are close to you, and then the second one is like the big one to your family. One of my friends turned around to me and was like, "You fancy Ellen? Oh, are you gay?" The whole world turned on its axis. I was like, "Now is my chance to do it." And I like very bravely was just like, "Yeah, I'm bisexual." And they were fine with it. 2 minutes later, another one of my friends just goes, "I'm the same. I'm bisexual too." So I'm always so grateful that I came out in that moment, because another person came out because I had done it first. And I think that's kind of the power of coming out.
So it was when the marriage referendum had passed in Ireland, and we'd been like away on a trip, and someone that was on the trip with us started saying vile things like, "Oh, gay people are disgusting, they should all be lined up and shot." Like saying this openly in front of me, and I was 17 at the time, 16, 17. He didn't know I was gay, but the fact that someone was 2 feet away from me saying that stuff made me feel horrid.
It took that long, after being told for that many years that I wasn't a person, that I wasn't a person of worth, to realize that I did have something special, and that I was a good person. And it's easy for anybody sitting at home to say, "Oh my God, that's terrible," but the longer we all sit around and say, "Oh my God, that's terrible," and we don't do something about it, it's going to get worse. So when I say that parents think that their children won't understand, I guarantee you they will. And I guarantee you it will make the world a better place by just taking 5 minutes to explain it to them.
Then one day I came home from university and my dad was home before me, which is a rarity. He said the words that everyone hates to hear, so we need to talk. So he sits me down opposite him in the armchairs and he's like, I want to talk to you about something and it's very serious and I need you to answer me. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay, no problem. And he was like, I want you to tell me what drugs you're on. And I was like, it threw me for such a loop. I was like, what? He was like, I need you to tell me what drugs you're on. Like, we just want to get you some help. So like, if you're taking something, we need to know so we can get this sorted. I was like, no, I'm not on drugs. I promise you I'm not on drugs. And I was like, I've never touched them. I'm never gonna touch them. And don't need to worry, like, everything's fine. And I go to like, leave the room. And
So I came out to my friends when I was 14 and it took me another 2 years to come out to my family. I somehow got in a relationship with someone when I was 16 and she was a girl. So we made a Facebook official and we both said that we were like in a relationship, but not with each other on Facebook, but it both happened like at the same time. A family member of mine saw that and asked my mum about it.
Telling my parents was really difficult for me. They were dropping me to meet one of my friends, and my friend and I would drive over to university. I literally grabbed like a pen and an old like promotional sticky pad and just started writing. And I wrote this like 3 tiny page letter.
After one of these trips, I was at home and my dad was talking about this man and what he had said and openly defending him. And I said to my dad that you just can't say that. Like, you just can't defend that. And he said, oh, well, why not? And blah, 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 blah. I remember standing up and like walking to the other side of the room and like turning to face him. I was like in tears at this point, said, you just cannot say that in front of me. And he was like, well, why not? And I just remember screeching at him that like, I'm gay. And then I just remember like just leaving the room, climbing out my bedroom window, very angsty, isn't it? Climbing out my bedroom window, like running to my mate's gaff. And then the next morning I went back to my house and sat down with my parents and they said, you know, it's all right, we accept you. And we love you and all that jazz. And it was fine. You know, I distinctly remember the first time that we were at the dinner table after that I came out and my mum was like, oh, any girlfriends? And then she like was like, or boyfriend? And I was like, oh, no. I feel like that was the moment that I was like, oh, I'm me now. To be truly authentic, you need to exist in that space. And I wasn't existing, I was defending for a long time. So it was really nice to just exist. That's when the relief hit me and I thought, cool.
I left it like sticking up out of the cup holder in the back of the car and grabbed my bags and gave my mother and father what I thought could potentially be the last like kiss and hug I would give them ever, maybe. That might sound melodramatic, but in school, one of my best friends was kicked out of his home when his parents found out he was gay. So I like literally grabbed the bags and like was walking away from my parents. And as I like started to get into her passenger door, my mother's across the road with the note, waving it at me, being like, you forgot this, is this important? And I was like, it's for you! And just jumped into the car and turned to her and was like, drive, I told them I'm gay, go! It was truly the scariest thing that's ever happened to me.
I had talked with my girlfriend, being like, what should I say it to her? And she was like, yeah, and I'll say it to my family as well. So that the same evening we both talked to our family.
And he's like, well, no, sit down. What, like, why are you in that house all the time? Like, you're there every other night of the week. And I could feel like this building. I was getting really hot in the face. And I couldn't even say I'm gay to my dad. So what I said was, that's where my boyfriend lives. And there was this big pause, this big long pause. And my dad just stood up and went, thank fuck. My dad rarely swears, and he was like, thank fuck, like we were so worried, like this is fine. Then I started crying, and then my dad got really upset because he was like, I can't believe you, he was like, I can't believe you didn't feel it was safe to tell us. But it was all in my demon-filled little brain that if I said these words to my family, that was the end of it. It wasn't. It was the beginning. It meant I was being my full, honest self with my whole family. All my friends knew, all my family knew. It was just this weight off your shoulders that you don't know is there until it's gone.
And last May, my mother found the note, and she sent me the pictures of it. She didn't say anything, but she didn't really need to say anything. Like, seeing the note and seeing how far I've come, it makes me happy, it makes me proud, but it breaks my heart to think around the world there are people who feel like that. And it breaks my heart to think that there are people in countries, they can't even dream, they can't even aspire to be open and who they are, because it will mean like death.
I couldn't really get the words out. I made her guess who I was dating, and she thought it was like a best friend of mine. I was like, no, God, no, but something like that. And she was like, it's okay, it's okay. And I just remember bawling, crying, like sobbing to her, being like, please, please, don't think that I'm a different person. I'm still your daughter. I'm just dating a girl now. And luckily, she was like, she was in shock, but she was like, it's okay, don't worry about it. It's fine. And then I gave her the task of telling everyone else in my family. I was like, that's it. That was too stressful. You can tell everyone else. The thing with being bisexual is that I had issues then with people around me, like over the coming months, where they thought maybe it was a phase, and I got asked that, and like, oh, are you sure, Nicole? They didn't have it said to me, like, oh, I'd rather you know, end up with a man rather than a girl. And I'm like, where does that even come from? Like, what difference does it make to your life, you know?
Society hasn't really changed much. I still feel like a second-class citizen for being gay. Not as much as I did when I was younger, but
I'm like, oh, the new generation of like baby gays, where for once in our lives we're kind of growing up in a world where like it's not illegal. You know, I think being gay was illegal until like the early 90s in Ireland. Thankfully in this country, you know, we have, you know, a lot of rights, but we still have a long way to come. The conversation back when I was a teenager, it was all about marriage equality, and now it's more for like trans, non-binary rights. So we're moving forward always.
We say this all the time in the LGBT community, is that we're so privileged that if our biological family don't accept us, we get to build our own. I have this whole other family of my friends who are just like, yeah, this, like, do you, as long as you're not hurting somebody, fucking rock on. Like that, and I think that's the attitude everyone needs to have, is like, who are you to judge anyone else?
For anyone that's watching this that feels that they might be queer in any way, I mean, you don't owe anyone, you know, coming out. If you're in a difficult situation where you don't feel safe at the idea of coming out, then you don't have to.
Your coming out is for you. It's not for anybody else. If you're ready to come out when you're 14, if you're ready to come out when you're 40, that's fine. You need to do it when it's right, feels right for you.
I think you need to surround yourself with people that will accept you for who you are. And don't underestimate your friends. Absolutely do not. Do not underestimate anyone's capacity for empathy. If you are uncomfortably anxious, there are helplines that you can call that will help with this sort of thing. They're free to call. And I know that they're sort of taboo to call a helpline, but they could be very beneficial for you.
Just know that having searched for this video, or having watched this video, there is a voice in your head. There's something in there that's telling you to hold on. Listen to that voice. It's not going to misguide you, because I'm pretty sure it's your heart, like it's what's trying to guide you through the dark. And there's a lot of dark, and it fucking sucks. But as a person who got out of that dark and is able to look back, it really is the smallest dot on the biggest, most beautiful, happy, colourful painting. And it's really worth hanging on for.
Pride is so important. Pride started as a riot. Now it's very much a celebration of who we are, but I think we can't forget that what was fought for by the people who came before us, that fight is still ongoing.
There's ACT UP Ireland and there's Queer Action Ireland, and they show that Pride is still a protest and there's still things we need to fight for.